I'll never be fully deployed, it's too risky. Me. That's why no one will remember your name. Today we'll talk about crypto market. We'll talk about what's happening with Bitcoin, with our 6 months sideways downward range. We'll figure out whether or not there would actually be any continuation, any finalization, because I do believe that people just want some type of fine nail to the current situation. Just drop it to 40k already. Just pump it to 80k, please. Please just end this torture. Imagine this is what hell actually looks like. Just endless sideways chop, downward chop, right? This is just crazy. I have some predictions. I have some feelings for a potential bullish continuation into the end of this week. This current week, right? But we will figure this out today. And we'll also talk about the current situation in the marketplace, what I think you should be doing, what is the main goal in the market like this currently. Without further ado, let's dive in. These are my beautiful drawings from yesterday when I was explaining funding rates. And funding rates, one more time, is the only metric that you can actually be basing any type of analysis on in crypto. And here on the chart, what we can definitely see this pattern right here, right? So we should be showing certain continuation with this pattern. We're actually trying to break out and go higher. And this essentially is my prediction for the end of the week as well. I do believe we should be seeing Solana bullish continuation. And what is interesting, we had this pump, right, at 61k. And yesterday I was showing liquidation heat map. And I was showing you a bunch of longs with liquidations levels around 58, 59. And we exactly went right there to gather the liquidity from loans. And right now we're probably pumping back up on the shorts that people were opening. And one more time, it's crazy stupid how easy for the market makers and for manipulators to actually use your liquidity from leverage positions in order to push the market like this. We can definitely also see that we have a bullish momentum right now since this recent pump. A bullish momentum is essentially when we are pumping up, right? And then we have sideways price action, but it's essentially a slow sideways price action, right? And then we should be having another pump moving further and sideways price action. This is what essentially called a bullish momentum. A bearish momentum is that we're going down and we have sideways move up and then we're essentially going down again. This is bearish, right? B, and this is bullish B. Right now, we definitely have like a classic bullish momentum on BTC, but we will see what will be happening. My projections, as mentioned yesterday and the day before, I do think we should be seeing 63, 64k for BTC this week. I know it's very, very hard to give any time-based estimates. I just want to give them here myself as well. I do think that it should be quite bullish for Solana. And one more point to add into Solana actually being bullish is the fact that we have this refocus on Tron ecosystem and Tron meme coins. We'll see how viable it actually would be. I don't think it will be like very, very viable because viability of the whole thing actually depends on the main token performing very, very nicely. Justin Sun, who's the founder of Tron Chain, definitely has a bunch of money to pump into the largest meme coin, but probably he does not want just to spend this money, to let people take profits on his money, right? And I do believe that one of the main reasons of the success of Base Chain was actually the presence of Bread. But Bread team implementation, the things that were done, bundled supply, selling into the pumps, essentially holding the chart at certain levels and letting the whole market scream about this project while you're taking profits from in the treasury so you can buy up and have a steady floor in the first 80% correction that was followed by FUD, that was initiated by FUD. It was done very, very like in a smart way, right? And we were also in bullish market conditions. There are definitely some things that liquidity and market cap correlation in Bread was very, very interesting. So it did not need a lot of liquidity to pump higher, right? But we probably have the same thing in Sundog, which is on Tron currently. But we're in a different market setup. What is happening is that people are selling their holdings right now to join Tron Sundog, right? The best case scenario that they might be expecting is like 3-4x from here to for it to actually reach $1 billion. Will it happen like this? I unfortunately don't think so. The main reason for that is because right now we're in different market conditions. Back when bread was pumping, we are exactly at the recovering market. Maybe, just maybe, because I have my projections. I gave you my projections about us seeing 80k BTC in 30 days. I gave these projections yesterday. Maybe the launch of Sandog and this refocus of Tron ecosystem was a very smart move to make, along with the expectation of the market reversal. There's a high chance something like this might be happening as well, because people who are doing these things, people with this much capital who are in crypto for this amount of time, they definitely can see these things and they definitely can plan. The same way as Pepe was pumping with Ethereum when market was going down, essentially the same way. So they're planning these major moves before major moves on the marketplace. And I do think that the announcement of Brad having perpetuals on Binance, it was a try to actually try to time it up with the reversal of the market. Unfortunately, we did dip from 62, 61 back to 58, right? But it's very hard to give and to have any proper reasoning for these dips. If you will talk to smart people, like they're saying that, well, it was not an obvious dip, and honestly, I don't see any reason to actually be given this dip at this stage, right? So it's a very interesting thing. So to finalize the whole thing, if we will have the reversal of the market, and if Justin Sun and Tron ecosystem specifically planned that they will start this refocus in the reversal of the market, then the trend might continue for quite some time. But Tron ecosystem needs a success of one token. It needs $1 billion coin in order to make sure that liquidity will essentially start to transfer to lower projects, lower market cap projects at the same time. Because currently people are coming in, they're jumping in, but they're jitting, they're selling very fast, very quick as well. The main reason for that is because people are still scared. World War III, all the things are happening, all the uncertainty in the market, us constantly just being in the downward sideways chop, we're going to 40k and things like that. It's just hard for people to hold. It's hard for the market participants to participate in this casino in a proper way, to make sure that more people essentially would be winning, right? And to make sure that they will be also capitalizing heavier than they're capitalizing currently, just jitting their supplies. Because when you're jitting the supply, you're not only pushing the price of the token up, people need to buy out the supply that you jit in order to push the price. It's a very important thing that a lot of people are neglecting, that the supply had to be bought, that you sold, and only then you would be able to properly push the price after that. That's why you should always be very careful when you're seeing larger whales and larger holders essentially selling the meme token. Whilst I was talking, we essentially broke through $60,000, $59,995. So to finalize, I do believe that the same situation may be happening on Tron only in case it will have a meme coin similar to Bread and successor of Bread. Bread almost went up to $1 billion. But don't get me wrong, it would be easily at $1 billion back in March, April. The only reason it did not is because it was heavily farmed by early insiders and probably by the team as well. They were selling, essentially the whole market was screaming about the token. And it's a very important situation, because when you're sitting in the token and you see a lot of people, like the whole market screaming about the token, and the market cap stays the same, that's just the first signal that you're being farmed. In some cases, it's bad, in some cases it's good, because if you have a nice developer, he will use these farmed funds to actually do something, invest them into marketing, pay for some exchanges. So he will essentially use funds to further pump the token, which essentially the team of Bread did. They used the funds to hold the floor during the first 80% dip, and then after that they used the funds to continue to push the token. We will see if something like this will be happening with Sandog. I think I saw some things that Sandog is bundled as well, which means that a bunch of supply was sniped by the team. They hold a bunch of supply, they can infinitely sell, but at the same time it means that general public has less of a supply. There is a lower chance that they can jit, and team will probably have funds to do some things for marketing wise and things like that. But unfortunately, usually these type of cases, they are ending up with value extraction from the marketplace. And there are a bunch of meme projects currently that are only focused on value extraction at this stage. They're just launching with bundle supply, and they're just selling into the chart, into people buying. They probably even see all the buys that are not coming from their wallets, all the buys from the market, and they're just selling straight away into the buys that you are making yourself. This is unfortunately the situation that we are in. Should be changing with us seeing more liquidity into the market, or maybe unfortunately it might end up with all the new liquidity getting essentially full, getting drained very, very quickly using all these things, right? But generally you are quite safe if you are putting your money into the meme coins that are alive for quite some time, and they are consolidating, correcting, and there are a bunch of them right now. One of the bullish signs as well that I'm essentially seeing is that when we were dumping since 61k back to 58, right, a lot of memes, especially on Solana, because essentially people from Solana, they decided to sell the memes and put some money into Tron, right? A lot of memes starting to correct heavily, like too heavy. People started to sell them too heavy, which is always a nice sign because it means that people are scared shitless. Definitely gives us additional option, additional understanding that it probably won't be dumping because of the way that with all these black swans, with all these like 2008, like in 2008, no one knew that we will be dumping. No one, like one guy pretty much knew about it and they made a movie about this guy, right? No one knew, like these type of black swan events, they're not being essentially spoken about publicly because we have so many potential events, Mpox, World War III, all these things. They just try to sell you this picture like as hard as they can that we are dumping, sell. For some of you it's hard psychologically as well, but you need to understand what is happening. Your government does not want you to succeed. They're not giving you this information in order for you to be rich, to be healthy, to be successful. They are giving you this information so you would sell, you will not have money, you will be poor, and you will continue to slave away your life in the current matrix, in the system that was very, very nicely, strategically designed through a perfect craft, right? They're not doing this. And the same thing was the Black Swan event with COVID, right? No one expected the COVID to break out like that. No one. It was really a Black Swan event, and that's why they're called a Black Swan event. And despite of the fact that we definitely have some similarities, because before COVID started, we had pretty much 6 months of downward price action, and during that price action, before that price action, we had BTC pumping, and during this downward price action, people were repositioning to altcoins because they were expecting BTC to correct, right? BTC dominance to go down, and altcoins to pump after BTC because altcoins were not pumping a lot with the BTC as well. And what happened? COVID dump happened, Black Swan event happened, and altcoins, they just went to zero because BTC went like 3-4x down, but altcoins, they were just diminished, destroyed. This is what happened. Personally, I do not expect a Black Swan event at this stage. Too much FUD, too much situation like that. There was no presence of this amount of FUD back in 2020 when we had COVID dump. People were not expecting it. Like the situation was not like there. I do believe that the current situation is pretty much similar to the local bottom. Like this type of news that we're seeing currently, this type of sentiment, it's a local bottom sentiment. Moving further through some tweets. Plan B is a very, very famous crypto influencer from the previous cycle with his methodology, right? He's showing Bitcoin increased 4x from the bottom in 2022 to now. Historically, 7 to 10x follows from here. This is quite interesting because it actually follows my prediction as well. 700k BTC, it's on the table. What do you think Bitcoin will do next 12 months? And by the way, I don't think that like with 700k BTC or just 150k BTC, that BTC will only be the only thing that pumps, right? I don't think that like larger, more established meme coins will be the only thing that pumps. It's almost like saying in the next pump, for some reason, human greed, human psychology, and millions of years of evolution, they will change. And that's why these things, they will stop pumping. Established memes pumping will lead to people taking profits and repositioning into lower caps, which will give liquidity to lower caps. Some people who will see established memes pumping, they will understand I don't have a bag in established meme. That's why I will not be putting my money currently, because I don't want to catch the move on established meme pumping, because I will just be buying into a bags of current holders. I would rather buy a better play, something of a lower cap. They have a higher chance to pump, not higher chance to pump. It's definitely a bit more riskier, but it has a higher chance of giving me more returns, because in case it would pump, I will be making more money. And it's a very, very nice chart, a very, very interesting one. He's pretty much showing that in the previous cycles, before the bull run, not bull market, but bull run of 2017, 2021, and currently, Bitcoin first from the bottoms did a 4x, and then in the core movement, it did from 7 to 10x's. Returns were diminished from one cycle to another, but we remember, and I'm telling you one more time, that last cycle was weak. It was pretty much just pushed by geeks on leverage. Last cycle was geeks on leverage. This cycle, we have the power of dying US economy pushing our asset. These are two differences, right? 4x from the bottoms till now, and the essentially plan B is expecting 7 to 10x as well. Very nice. And what's interesting is that we always had this type of the bear trap before the pump. Like right now is ideal scenario, because one thing that everyone can agree in the current market is that this sideways chop, it should be ending with a drastic move, with a large move. Don't care up or down, large move. My bet is that it's just going to be move up. We are in the largest decorrelation between stock market and BTC at this stage. We're in the sideways chop, we have ETF, we have like a large amount of money of scared, sidelined. We are at the breakout of the liquidity currently at this stage. Too many things, too many bullish fundamental things, and election as well. The tide is turning in the world. White pill is the high testosterone sigma mindset. We are even getting decent movies again. Lighten up, lift heavy things, and be optimistic. The future is bright. Not without a fight. I do think so. And yes, we got Deadpool, Twisters, and Alien Romulus all in 1 month. And Star Wars Acolyte got cancelled. Healing is occurring. Very, very interesting. Bitcoin, following along with sideways chop before drop scenario. So this is pretty much another part of the opinion from Nebraska Gunnar, right? He's saying that we're essentially going to 44k, like we will have a week down to 44k, we will stay in 50k, and from there we will probably be doing something, sweep and get everyone bearish. Well, I don't think things like these are happening with the current sentiment. Like, there are not a lot of bulls at this stage. And even people who are bullish, they probably kept some stables on the side. They're probably doing some things. They probably sold some things, right? I don't think that essentially like drops like this that happen in the current sentiment. But just maybe still the case that too much people are bearish. Too many people are actually bullish, and that's why we'll essentially be dropping. And then we're checking out crypto funding rates. Wow, we just dropped to 59.3k in pretty much 5 minutes. This is just crazy. We will be checking out our funding rates. Funding rates are either negative or around 0, which is not that bullish as well. Like, when nothing is happening in the marketplace, they're just using your leverage to push it the way they want. Up and down, because there are no significant amount of liquidity coming in. Just look at this bullshit. We went from 58k up to 60.1, and right now we're back to 51.1. Like, they're just liquidating people left and right. And this is the goal that they are making, because they are gathering liquidity to actually pump this thing. They are pretty much taking money from you through the market in order to pump the thing moving further. We have a little bit of long leverage opened around 58.4, very, very small bit. And we also have a bit of short leverage open. But you can definitely say that there is not a lot of leverage traders left in the marketplace. Not a lot of them at this stage. I'm buying Solana memes dips while everyone floods to new chain. Seen this too many times. A very, very interesting situation as well. Because back in essentially March, April, when we had base season, there was some fight about Solana and essentially around congestion and things like that. And after that, the Solana meme season continued. And definitely people that were able to either hold or buy the corrective bottoms that appeared during this time, they were able to capitalize heavily. It's the attention game, and it's quite interesting that it's still quite easy if you would think about that. Like, it still gives you options, it still gives you opportunities. It's very, very interesting at this stage. So I essentially said everything I wanted to say. I do expect bullish continuation from BTC and from Sol into the end of this week. I do expect finalization of the sideways chop in the upcoming 30 days. We are at the end of the month of August. Summer really was pretty much just choppy and downward, and in September we should have a bunch of hedge funds, people, VCs coming back, fund managers, and they should be preparing for the end of year and autumn fall run up, because usually these are the months that are very, very bullish for business and for the markets as well. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will be seeing you tomorrow. Bye bye.